Hello, hi everyone.
Hey
Rabin
guys.
here. We have Sultan from the WPFunnels and Mail Mint team, and he's also the founder or co-founder. And we have Alberto here. He specializes in IT tech, and also recently he got into more on websites development and much more on the WordPress side. So he is very keen also to learn about what Mail Mint is all about. So I don't want to take up so much time. So I'm going to give it to Alberto to say hi. Then Alberto can give the mic to Sultan, and Sultan can tell us the story, what is behind Mail Mint and how they came up about it, and what is their vision going forward. So welcome, guys. Alberto, you
Welcome.
can go.
Hi guys. Thank you guys for joining and taking time out of this morning or evening or night. I know it's different time zones everywhere. Um, I'm honored to be here, and thanks Nilesh for helping set this up. And I'm really looking forward to learning more about Mail Mint and asking some questions.
Great, great.
All right, so
yeah, go ahead.
hey everyone, this is Sultan. I think you guys, if you have seen me before with WPFunnels, I'm actually the marketing manager for WPFunnels and right now for Mail Mint. And I'm really excited to be here to let you know all about Mail Mint. So as Rabin said, what's the story behind Mail Mint? Let me just share that with you. What happened was basically about 8 months ago, there were a lot of issues happening with few of my customers saying that, hey, how can I send emails? A funnel is incomplete with emails, like when they were using WPFunnels. And they were like, okay, so I'm a funnel creator, I'm creating funnel pages, and then how do I send the emails? So we did create some integrations with email clients, and it worked out really well for a few. But then again, there are tons of email clients. How many integrations can we give for WPFunnels, right? So eventually, we saw that we were facing the same issue ourselves. So we were thinking that, hey, we are running funnels and we are struggling to create emails. Now, how does that work? I mean, come on. So we tried out different tools, like we had the big ones like the Fluent CRM. We tried using Sendinblue. We were using a lot of tools and seeing which one works best. The difficulty we had with all those tools is that the learning curve. We had to train our people to learn that, and every time someone new joins a team, they have to learn the whole process, and it takes quite some time to learn the whole tool. So it was quite a hassle at that time. So at that time, our founder, Lincoln Islam, said, hey, this is something that everybody needs. I mean, not just for funnels, but if I think about a generic business, email marketing is something that everybody needs. That's the most powerful tool to convert people. So why not create one ourselves? But then again, it's no point creating just another tool. We have to create something that makes things better for everybody, right? So then we started the journey. We were in a dilemma because this is a tool that's larger than what we have ever created before. So, you know, when creating an email client or maybe email marketing tool, it has a lot of features, a lot of requirements, and we were not familiar with all of those. So first up, we had to do a lot of training. We had to learn ourselves, train ourselves to know how these tools work in depth. Like, even if we didn't need a feature of this, what features it should have, right? And so, you know, down the line, 8 months later, it's here. We have Mail Mint. And the key thing about this is that we managed to create a tool that's much easier than most email clients out there. So that's one thing we're proud of, because that's what we were looking for ourselves if we talk about WPFunnels. And we could also see that it's the same thing for our users. If I talk about funnel users, people who create funnels using WPFunnels, and if I talk about other users, like, you know, WPFunnels is just one of our plugins. We have users in other dynamics, like WooCommerce users, We create product feed manager for WooCommerce. That's one of our plugins. We have WPVR. That's one of our plugins. So we have a lot of users, and when the users come up and they talk about marketing stuff, now we have something powerful to let them know or give them so that they can use it and enhance their marketing. So that's how Mailmint came up to be, and this is where we are today.
Thank you, Sultan. That tells us the story, and
Right.
yeah, you are right that there is a gap, like from WordPress and capturing those members or visitors, and then track them to the next point, and create a conversion in between. There was a kind of gap, like not many tools in that space,
Right.
and uh, some of them are not even what do you call this, like not even easy to buy, or the pricing might be much more different. So in the early stages, you guys are offering um, the lifetime deals, which is for me it has a lot more value than the price perceived. Um, I also wanted to know what Alberto uh, thought of this, because I know he is very interested in this tool as well. Alberto, you can say anything, however you feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, so there used to be a big hype with Fluent CRM,
Mm,
and I was looking for an alternative because I missed that hype. Um, and then I've tried other stuff like Mail Poet.
mm,
Um, there was some other stuff by like I think it was like Ymail,
Mm.
um, and stuff, but it just never really seemed to capture everything that I wanted to capture. And a big thing in my office right now is like CRM and selling and stuff like that. So the whole piece of being able to see what you've emailed, being able to tag, being able to communicate specifically to your audience, um, I think is a great tool. I saw this and I see a lot of potential on it. I even jumped on it, got it right away. I was up at 5 in the morning on my time, trying to get the tool, messaging you saying, "Hey, it wasn't working right away." Um, but yeah, and then I installed it on two different sites, tried it out, and see a lot of potential for it.
great.
Mm.
I think um, Sultan have some of the crazy stuff under the hood we should be able to see, because when I saw
Right.
the video that Alberto posted, I'm like, what? All along I have been trying to. So for my blog, which is nearly now 15, 16 years old, and I
Mhm.
have this gap, to be honest, Sultan Bhai, I'm
Right.
serious, that I do not have an email marketing tool in a 15-year-old blog. So yes,
Uh,
I'm going to get this. So uh, please go ahead, show us some ropes, how to take advantage of these, and going forward with it. Please go ahead.
okay. So before I go into sharing my screen, I'm just going to share what's our vision with this so that people understand what this is about, right? So obviously this was to solve a problem with email marketing, but the whole team has a different vision. It's like, most of you are comparing it with Fluent CRM or maybe, MailPoet and tools like that. But our intention is not to compete with them, really. We want to create a complete environment for someone so that they can do everything related to marketing, funnels, or sales, lead collection in one place in WordPress. Like if you look at giant tools, if you look at SaaS tools, people rely on maybe ClickFunnels or they go to Kajabi or things like that. But they're very expensive. It's really difficult to afford ClickFunnels when you are a startup. It doesn't work, right? Now, if you want to create funnels, why do people create funnels? They create it to increase sales, get more leads, and eventually grow their business. So, growing their business is the main goal that we want to, help people with. All right. So, MailMate is just one part of that, and this is going to be a tool in itself, a very powerful one because we have a very good roadmap lined up, a lot of features lined up, and obviously it will be a competition for Fluency in some way, right? But then again, if you look at the bigger picture, if you are one of our users or if you join the family, it's going to be like you're going to have WP funnels, you're going to have MailMint, and then you're going to find more tools coming up that's going to solve many different types of requirements that you need to create a complete funnel journey. because different businesses have different requirements. So just a sales funnel builder is not enough. Again, just having an email marketing tool is not enough. You might need other stuff, and we will get to that one by one, step by step. So it's a long journey for us, and you'll be seeing us around for a while because we have grown our team now. We are set up. We are all set. We are having a good time with our tools.
If I'm not mistaken, WP Funnels and the founder, they have the company for pretty long time, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken.
Yeah, basically WPFunnels is very new, to be honest. It's just almost like 1.5 years. We exist as CodeRex initially. Our main
Right.
company is called CodeRex, and we are a web development firm. And
Yep.
that was back in 2012, all right? Then in 2014, we started our plugin-based environment in Rex theme. So that's our sister concern, Rex theme. So we created quite a few products. Right now, the biggest ones are Product Feed Manager and WPVR, and people love that. WPVR is right now #1 VR tool in WordPress. So
Great.
then we came up with WP Funnels and now Mail Mint, and many more will come. So basically, there's going to be something for everyone in the business area, in marketing area, so that you get a complete environment. That's our long-term vision. All right. So MailMint is just paving the way, but MailMint itself is going to be a powerful email marketing tool on its own, so that at least we want to make sure that you have everything related to email marketing and automation in one tool, rather than going into external tools and everything. Now, yeah, obviously there'll be questions there, but I'm going to answer them in a while. All right. So let me just go ahead and share the screen and give you a highlight of what MailMint is. All right. Okay. I'm just going to do the entire screen.
Okay, let me put it on the screen and give it a space. Okay, here we go.
Okay. All right. So basically, when we launched MailMint, this is basically the landing page. People are like, okay, this looks cool. Is the tool really that cool? Right. So I have just opened up MailMint in the tab on the left side. So you can see I got MailMint over here. And what you're looking at is basically the dashboard. So of the contacts. So initially, when you install, you're going to go through a setup wizard. It's going to get you to a dashboard like this. There is going to be a lot of stats on what's happening with your MailMint. Now, the first step is always the contacts or the leads that you collect, where they're stored, how are you going to manage them. So you just go to the contacts menu, and here you can see that you can have your contacts in one single view. So if you look at in this place, I have a couple of contacts. Here it's giving me a summary of my contacts, how many are subscribed, how many are unsubscribed, how many are pending. On top, you have the option to look at your lists, tags, segments, and the contacts themselves. So if I go to the list tab, here I have just one list right now. I can create one if I want to. So I'll just create one right now. Let's say pro users. Okay. So if I save this, there you go. I have a list now. So here you can get a summary of how many contacts are in the list, when it was created. The same goes for the tag. It works in the same way. And when I click on a tag or a list, it's going to go back to contacts and filter out all the contacts within that tag or a list, just like this. All right. And now this is basically an overview of where the contacts are, where the lists are. But how do you start? Basically, on the top, you can see of the option new contact and import. So if you click on new contact, it's basically simple. You just enter the email address, enter the name, choose the subscription status. So you have 3 statuses here: pending, subscribed, unsubscribed. So basically, if you choose pending and if you have double opt-in enabled, then after you add this, he's going to get a double opt-in email right away. If you choose it as subscribed, then he's not going to get a double opt-in email, and you can use it for your marketing campaigns right away. So that's how the status works. Unsubscribed means that he's in your list, but you cannot do any marketing for him. Okay. Then comes list and tags. So here you can assign this contact a list. So let me just add a dummy contact so that this makes more sense. So let's say johndoe@gmail.com. And let's just input the name. Okay. There you go. Now I'll just choose the subscription status as subscribed, and here I can assign him to a particular list, or let's say I'm just going to create a new list. Let's say free user. Okay. Now you can see I don't have this list, but I can create it right away. I can click on plus add list and save it, and this will be created while you're adding your contact. So you don't have to go back, create a list, come back and assign him again. So you can do it all on the go. And I know why you might say why this is important. I've used other tools where if you want to assign a new tag, you first have to go and create the tag, come back to the contact edit mode, and then add the tag again. So we just reduced one step there. Now if I save this, and there you go, my contact is added. You can see, right? Now, that's how you manually add a contact individually, but you can import in bulk. You just click on import and you have all of these options. You can upload a CSV to upload a lot of contacts together. You can paste data manually by separating them with commas. You can import your WordPress users, so you can just choose the user role and then import them, or you can import all your WooCommerce customers here. All right, so let me just give you a preview of that. So let's say I'm just gonna write dummy content here so that I can show you how this works. Let's say Jason Smith. No. So I have inputted some content here. This is one of my contact. And if I click on next, it's going to let me map out this data into the fields I have in Mail Mint. So I'm just going to map the first name with the first name in the contacts I have, and then the last name with the last name. After mapping, you can choose what list this context will be imported to. So basically, it's the same process for importing with CSV or pasting contacts manually, WordPress users or WooCommerce customers. Once you choose to import them, you get to map out the fields, and you can choose the status, add them to a particular list, or add them to a particular tag. All right. So I'm just going to make it to subscribed, and I'm going to import. And there you go. So once imported, it gives me a summary of how many contacts were imported, and I can just view contact. It takes me to contact, and my contact is added. So that's how easily you can import your contacts. You can add contacts, manage them in list and tags. Now, those are the easy part. You get this with every tool, but this is just a bit simplified. But here comes a more advanced part, which is called segments. So segments is basically something you need to run targeted marketing campaigns. So if I click on add new segment, here I'll just give a name to this. Let's say Jason's. So let's say I want to target users whose name has Jason in them. All right. So I'm just going to choose select first name, choose the condition contains, and just write Jason. So any contacts that have Jason in part of their first name will be added to this segment. So if I save this and then preview segment, it's going to show me all the contacts that has that condition met. So I can add multiple conditions to one contact, and then overall I can create a complete segment. So once I have a segment, then I can run specific campaigns for this segment, people that are part of this segment. So that's one advanced feature you get on the contacts. Okay, so that's the start. Once you have your contacts ready, then you start your marketing game. So you create your campaigns. So if I go to campaigns, here you have the option to create emails. All right. So if I click on new campaign, you can see you have three options here. Creating a regular campaign. So this will be one single campaign that will be sent after you prepare it. There will be an email sequence. So you can create a series of emails that will be sent one after another by certain set intervals by you. Okay, so you'll be choosing the intervals. And then comes creating sequence for automation. As you know, this tool has automation in it. So you can obviously create a sequence and save it, and then later on use it in your automation flows. All right. So I'm going to show you this too, and then I'm going to show you automation later on. So I'm going to create campaigns, and here it's going to take me to this place. This is very simplified. All you do is give it a name. Let's say new campaign, or let's make it realistic. Let's say it's a Christmas campaign. Okay. So now I need a subject line. I'll just write Merry Christmas from Team Mail Mint. And here I'm just going to give a preview text. Here's your Christmas gift. So that's just it with the subject line and preview, and you just dive into designing your email. You click on design your email, and here you get to import some templates, or you can start from scratch. Let me just import one right now. So I'll just select, and it's going to take me to this place. This is our email builder. All right, so let me just show you why this email builder is actually better than most others you've used in WordPress. First, on the right side, you'll find drag and drop blocks, which are pretty self-explanatory. This is text. You just drag and drop it in your builder, and then you just write text. So, hello, Merry Christmas. Then once you have a block here, you can obviously configure this block. You have all the typography options. You can change the colors. You can change the style, padding, margin for this specific block. All right. If I go back, I have other blocks. I can add images. I can add a button. I can add social icons, and I can use other blocks here to make it better. And I also have two very good, very useful blocks, which is the products block and the post block. So using the post block, what you can do is, let's say I'm just going to place this here, and here I'm just going to choose what to drop here. So after I have this dropped here, I can just assign certain posts to display. So let me just see. I'm just going to choose a post category. So let's say if I choose this, it's going to bring up the post that I have. Now this is a new environment, so this is the only post I have, hello world. And you can see that is being displayed here. So if you have more posts here, you can show up to as many posts as you want from a certain category. All right. So this is the post block. The same way, you can also use a product block. If you have WooCommerce and you have products, you can use the product block and display multiple products in your email body. All right. And we are obviously updating this so that you can, choose specific product or specific post as well. So this is something that's going to help you to send out newsletters to your users. All right. So here on the right side, you have more options such as choosing layouts. You can have global styles for this email. So everything you can do here easily. It's quite easy to understand because it's completely visual and you just have full control. But in case you don't want to use this block editor, you can always move on to the classic editor. All right, you can write codes and write your own email over here if you want to. So you have all that. You can get a preview right here depending on the device. Okay, and you can send a test email. Okay, so once you're done, you can just save this and then move on to next. And there you go. So once everything is ready, all right, you can just click on send, and it will give you the option to send now or later. But oops, I forgot to choose the recipients. So you have to choose who are gonna get this emails. Just let me confirm. Is everybody there? Okay. Right, I think everybody's there. All right, sorry about that.
We are here. We are just giving you the focus to explain.
I understand that. No, I got confused. It got all quiet. So,
No.
all right. So here you can see I missed a recipient. So if you make mistakes, like you couldn't fill out certain necessary elements of your email, it'll show you where is the mistake. So that makes it easy for you. So I'm just going to choose the recipient. Let's say I'm just going to choose the free users. And once you choose the recipient, you have the option to send. You click on send. It lets you choose you want to send it now or you want to schedule it for later. All right. So if I choose send and send it now, and it's running right now, right? So if I go back to campaigns, and here I get to see that it's running. Now most of you will have the same question, that how are the emails sent? So MailMint will be using the default SMTP that is set up in your site, and using those, MailMint is going to send out the emails. All right. Now I've just showed you how to create a single campaign. Let me click on new campaign and show you how a sequence works. So let me create a sequence. Now once I created a sequence, you can see it's the same thing, just as I showed you a minute ago. So what's the difference? Well, the difference is right here. You can just click on plus to add more emails to the sequence. Now the first email is just like a regular campaign email. You just choose your recipients, choose the title, and then in the second email, you again choose the subject and the preview text, but here you have the option to choose the delay time. So if I choose the delay time to be, let's say, 5 hours. So after I initiate and send this sequence email, after a person receives the first email, MailMint is going to wait for 5 hours, and then it's going to send the second email that you designed, right? Everything else is just the same as a regular campaign. So you just, configure your email, design your email, and then move on to adding more uh, emails to your sequence and choose a delay time. Again, configure this whole email. You can add as many as you want. And once you're ready with the whole thing, you can send it right away. And based on the delays, the emails will be sent out to your users. All right. So that's how a sequence campaign works. So I'm just going to go back. So yeah, so I just showed you how to create a single campaign, and I showed you how to create a sequence. And when you create, let's say the third one, it's same as the sequence, just that it is saved and you cannot send it now. That's going to be reusable for the automations. So far, I think you can already see that this is pretty simple and easy to use. And obviously, many of our users, when they use MailMint, they didn't even need a documentation. So that's how it was planned. But obviously, there could be something you don't understand. You always can reach us in support. Anyways, let's move on to our next big feature, which is the automations. So automations is basically where you set up automation triggers, and based on that, trigger some actions out there. So if I click on add new automation, it's going to take me to this page where you can create your automation flow. So let's say if I click on select a starting point, so this is basically the trigger, and you'll find options on how this automation will be triggered. So you have automation that are default for MailMint, then you have automation for WordPress, you have automation for WooCommerce, all right? And we also have integration with Gravity Forms. So you'll find options here for Gravity Forms as well, and easy digital downloads if anyone use that, all right? So let's say I'm just going to create the default one. Let's say added to list. So the starting point is added to list. This means if anyone is added to a particular list, he'll be entered into this automation workflow, and you'll be the one choosing which list that has to be. So let's say I'm going to choose the list as free user. So anyone who gets added to this list, free user, he will be entering this automation workflow. And then after that, you can just go ahead and add actions. So you can choose to, delay. Let's say I'm just going to delay 1 hour over here. Then you can choose to send an email. And here is the same process. You can see on the right side, just a minute ago when you saw the campaigns, you had the option to choose the sender email, sender name, uh, the subject line, the preview text. You get the same things here, and you can design it in the same way. You click on this, it's going to load the templates model. You can choose a template, or you can write it yourself. And once you save it, you come back to this place. And that's it. That's how easily you can set up the email. You can add more actions after that. So basically, there is no limit to how many actions you want. So after you send the email, you want the person to be added to a different list. So let's say I'm just going to add him to a different list, and there you go. So you can just create this workflow as long as you want, and add actions. But obviously, this has to be very tactical. If you are doing it for a marketing purpose, you need to have a reason for every step so that it helps you with conversion. All right. So automation is a very powerful way to convert people down the line. And the most used reason for automation is lead nurturing. So when you get a lead, you instantly want to nurture them. Now, obviously, you can see that this is straightforward. You create a whole automation flow, right? Now, let me just go back and leave. Now, one of the biggest question all of you will have is that, okay, how will the leads be added to MailMint? Do I always have to import them? Do I always have to add them manually? Well, not really. Uh, we have one more feature, which is a form. You can create a custom lead form using MailMint. So if you go to the forms menu, here you can create a form, and here you have the option to choose a template, or you can create one from scratch. So let's say I'm just going to choose this one, and it's going to take you to the form builder. Now this form builder is made using Gutenberg, so the default WordPress builder. So here you can design your whole form, add more elements here. You can see the fields here. We also have our own blocks. So let's say I want to use the name block. You can see I have the option to add first name. So I think there you go. So I can add a first name below this. I can design this whole thing on the right side, giving it colors, or changing the space, giving a different placeholder name. So let's say name. So I have full control on how this one works. I can change the color of the back whole container. I can choose, change the background color. Let's say I'm going to change it to ash, and there you go. The color is changed. I can even edit the properties of the field. Well, just like it would work in Gutenberg. So it's pretty straightforward. Once you're done with the form, okay, here you can choose which list you want people to be added once they submit this form. So let's say I'm going to choose anyone who submits this form is going to be part of the new users. Okay, so now how will you use this form? You might think that, okay, this is a form, I need to copy the shortcode, paste it on a page, and that's how it will work. But there is more than that. Okay, so on the right side, you have this option called form type. You can see you have the options default, pop-up, fly-in, fixed and top, fixed and bottom. So these are the type of forms you can create with MailMint. So you do not just create a default form to embed on a page. You can create it as a pop-up, you can create it as a fly-in, you can even make it as like a notification bar on top or on bottom. So you can do all of that. So whichever type of form you create, you can do that. And not only that, you can also choose where this form will appear. So normally when it's a default form, you embed it using a shortcode, right? But what happens when it's a pop-up? Do you also embed it with a shortcode? No. If you have a pop-up, at that time you can choose which page this pop-up will appear on, or you can choose it to appear in the whole website, whichever you choose. So when you create this form and save this, okay, and say save this and use this form somewhere, after someone submits the data in this form, the contact is automatically added to the contact list that you defined, all right, within MailMint. So that's one way you can collect the leads. And now you might ask me, okay, then how do I trigger an automation for this lead? Now, in the automation workflow, if I go back there and create one, you will see there's a starting point called form submitted. If I choose this on the right side, I have the option to choose which form submission will trigger this automation. So I just created the one first order discount. So if I choose this one, which means anyone who submits this form in your website, he'll enter this workflow, and then you can choose actions for that contact. So that's how you create forms, collect leads, add them to contacts and run your automation. And eventually you can also run your manual email campaigns or email sequences. All right. So that's just about it with MailMint, right? So far you can see that you can add contacts, run campaigns, run automation, even collect leads with just one tool. And it didn't take me that long to explain the whole thing. And I'm sure that when you looked at the UI, it was pretty simple. That was our goal, to make it as simple as possible so that you have no issues whatsoever. Right. So, Rabin, I think I'm just gonna let you find out what sort of questions you might have.
Right. So we have a lot of questions, but I
Okay.
really want to surface one question for myself, which
Sure.
is I'm getting a quite a big fan of Flowmatic,
Okay.
and Flowmatic is like a Zapier for WordPress. So it works on WordPress. Let me. Okay, it works on WordPress for automations. So
Okay.
you can trigger things on plugin hooks and events and scheduler and stuff. And it happens to be uh, Nitin, who is the founder of Flowmatic, is currently on
Okay.
the stream, and he is asking
Okay.
the question. So it will be great if we can combine these two powerhouse tools. And I am actually in a bit of
Yeah.
awe because there is a lot of things in MailMeet that I have seen in SaaS products, but not necessarily in a WordPress plugin or WordPress solution. So thank you for that. And what I'm going to do, I picked up the good questions
Okay.
from the stream, and I'm going to start to highlight them. Then we can go about, like, this was first from the Jaideep. Uh,
Right. Okay, so is there any default option available for e-commerce email customization? So right now, as you can see that you have to use triggers. For WooCommerce, we have a few triggers over there where I talked about, triggers for different integrations we have, right? So WooCommerce is one of them. When orders are placed or orders are processed, at that time, you can trigger emails. Now, I think what you mean is the default email that is sent once someone places an order. He gets a summary of the order from WooCommerce, right? So that is something we're still working on. That's one of our planned features, probably in the first week of Q2. So at that time, you'll be able to edit the default emails of WooCommerce. For now, that will be handled by WooCommerce themselves, but you can, trigger extra campaigns for your users using MailMint.
this is just to bring some chuckle in the stream. So I also want to introduce everyone to Alberto because this is his first stream. So he might be feeling a little overwhelmed by the amount of information flowing on the screen. So just chill, bro. And, we are all here. So nothing to worry about. Let me surface the second question. Is from Larry Tan. He is also locally, I think he's in the same time zone as myself. And so this is, I think, about the email compose interface.
Right.
Can MailMint do 2 or 3 column email newsletter?
Yes, you can. Basically, in our email builder on the right side, there is an option for layout. You can choose the 3 column layout, and then just customize that. So that's
All
how
right.
easy you do that, right?
Okay. So this one,
A lot of demo templates are added and updated because it helps with fast shipping. Do you have further plans? Of course. Basically, we have our own UI designers who will be delivering. Right now the target is about 20 emails per week. Email templates. They're gonna design them, but the development is a different story. We cannot develop 20 templates each week because we also have
mm,
to develop the plugin. So
yep,
right now our target is to add at least 5 templates per week for email and form, and let's see how long we can continue that because we want to offer as many templates as possible.
right. And I suggested somebody else also because it was something different along with templates. So I suggested that keep it rolling rather than putting too many templates at the same time.
Right.
Then you keep the progression that there is an update going on. So it gives people also look forward to new things, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep,
these
that
are
makes sense.
Alberto. You have any question or not from
I
your
have
business side? Please
I
go
have
ahead.
lots of
Please go ahead.
questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
So one of the things is the customizations. I see you have colors. Is there any
Hmm.
way to link the theme colors? Um, so that way I already know, hey, these are my branding colors. It's already
Okay.
here when I go and pick out the colors. Um,
Okay. Normally, when you go to the global theme customizations on the right side, they usually pull the font colors and stuff from your theme. But the other colors, that's something we didn't bring it here, but I think we can add some color palettes from your theme there. So that's a good idea, I think. So I think I can
yeah.
add it to our idea stream.
The other thing I seen that I thought was really nice is, and I know you said that you're not trying to compete with Fluent CRM, that your product is its own unique thing that helps with funnels. But what I liked is I saw that when they kept users, you can go to each user and you can see there's a WooCommerce tab. It shows you all the purchases
Hmm.
that they've made, and then they've
Right,
linked it to other stuff. Are you guys looking
right.
to expand that users to have its own tabs for
Yeah,
different things so you can?
yeah, I think that's something I missed on my demo, that you can actually click on a user and get a detail of the user itself. But the feature you're talking about is probably the 360 data of the user. And that is a planned feature we have for quarter 2, because it's a lot of data we need to interact and we want to maintain accuracy. So we have started working on it already, to be honest. We are going through R&D phase right now. I know many tools offer that, and it's very useful for marketers. You need that. So it's a planned feature that we plan to release on the middle of quarter 2, probably the second month. So yeah, that's coming up pretty soon.
Any thoughts of trying to create some type of coupon integration with the emails? So like the third email that
Hmm.
you get, 10% discount off your order.
Yeah,
And I know me and you talked off outside of here about order bumps, and you said you guys are planning to, or stuff that was missed in the cart that they left and then they signed off. You were talking
right.
about that you guys are working on that as well.
Right. So as you know, right now what we released is basically the MVP of what people need the most, right? So the coupon is something that is something I was discussing with my developer basically on Friday. That's something I think we will need because for marketing campaigns, coupon is important. So we have added that as part of our roadmap, but we are unsure is it possible to finish it within quarter 1, because we have taken up a lot of things on our plate. So
Yeah.
if we have time, we will release that in quarter 1. But if not, it's definitely gonna be on the first few weeks of quarter 2. So It's going to be a dynamic coupon generator. That's something we are planning, that for each user it's going to be a unique coupon. So if he enters the automation flow and goes up to that part of the journey, then that's going to be a unique coupon for that user only. And we are going to create a dynamic block that's going to let you view that coupon within the email. So that's the plan, and we'll be working on it. But as I told you, we have taken up a lot of things on our plate. So once this steadies down, beginning of quarter 2, that's going to be something we'll work on, plus the abandoned cart recovery campaign. Those are the two
Yep,
things
yep.
will work
So
first.
I think there's a lot of questions I already
Mm.
tracked, and I think
Mhm.
it will be overwhelming for him to answer all of these as well. So before I continue,
Mhm.
what I will do, I'm going to show the form link. It's very easy if you want to type it on phone. So
Mhm.
you have to fill up the form before you are actually eligible to uh, for the giveaway. Just go to your phone, type foi.cool/mmg1. So then you fill up the form. Please be accurate on your details because it will matter a lot. And yeah, so we have still 20 over questions. Uh,
Okay.
Is there a way you
No
could show your
problem.
roadmap? I know we were talking about it
Yeah.
yesterday, I
Let,
believe.
let me just give it to Rabin in the chat, and he can maybe share it.
oh yeah. You can send
So
it to private chat, and I can just post it in a caption. Yeah,
okay, there you go. So I shared the link. So if someone
yeah,
goes
yeah.
there, they can check out the public roadmap. Right.
Okay. So it's the roadmap, right? Okay.
Yeah, so this one is updated for quarter 1 completely, but obviously we kept some room so that we can take important requests from users, because take to believe that we are not the best minds, our
Right,
users
right,
are.
right.
So if all of a sudden the user come and says this is a feature that's very important, and we find that yeah, it is very important that we missed, so we want to be able to work on that. So the roadmap you're seeing has almost all the features planned, but we kept some room so that we can add new features as well, depending on user requirements.
So I hope people get to see the link to the form. If Alberto
Mhm.
can help, you can
Of
post
course.
this link on the comments if you want. And I'm going to show the public roadmap. So it's
Mhm.
at getwpfunnels.com mail-mint-public-roadmap. It's pretty easy to remember. So thank you, Nilesh. Yeah, that is very thanks a lot. And yeah, don't forget the roadmap is here one more time. So there you go. So I will go back to the questions right now.
Sure.
And okay, so we start with this. So
Yeah.
I think this is a
Um,
valid question. Yeah.
Can we add WooCommerce products newsletter? Yes, I just showed you that we have a product block for WooCommerce, which while writing your email or designing your email, if you use that product block, there you have the option to choose either the category or a specific product. So you can choose which one to choose. So if you choose a category, then you can choose how many products from that category you want to view. And if you choose a specific product, then it's just the summary of that product coming up. So yeah, you can show that in the newsletter using the product block.
Is there a way to
Okay.
add custom post types for like events and things like that?
We didn't work on that yet, to be honest.
Okay.
Basically, that's a valid idea. You can obviously submit it in my roadmap. Like in the roadmap page, you'll find a tab called Ideas. You can add this there, and if people post it up, we will obviously prioritize the ones that people feel like is more important first. So if this is something that say that we should work on first, we will definitely work on that.
So this question
Okay. So
I
do
think is from
you
the
have API?
so this question is actually from the Flowmatic founder,
Okay.
Nitin. So
Okay.
I can't see his
Right.
name on the back end, but I think it is him who asked this
Okay.
question. Uh,
Yeah, well, what happened is the developer docs have been prepared already, but we need to organize that so that it's friendly for everybody to use. So we just need a couple of weeks time. So we are gonna then release it publicly so that many people can use the APIs and maybe create integrations themselves.
Great. Great. Okay. Um, sequence email have only time delayed or more conditions? Oh,
Okay,
okay. Okay. This one.
right. So I think the question is related to campaigns. So when you create campaigns, there when you create sequence, the only condition is delay because that's just a genuine sequence. That's what we use for lead nurturing, right? But if you want to use other conditions, you can simply create the sequence in automation because in automation you also have the option to add emails. So rather use a different condition in between and then add an email, and that just acts as a sequence but with more automation conditions in between.
Can you actually do times? So if you want to send it at 11 o'clock because you know in your market 11 o'clock is when
Mhm.
most people check their emails. Could you do stuff
Yeah,
like
you
that,
can
or is it
you can schedule your emails if you want to.
okay?
So yeah,
So this one, I think, also somewhat related to automation from external sources, or send the information out using the automation tools. If I'm
oh,
not
we
mistaken.
have webhooks created, so people can use that. Yeah, action forking in the sequence. Yeah, when you create the sequence in automation, you can use multiple actions if you want to. So if you're talking about condition like if else, then that's something in progress for this quarter. Basically you're going to get it probably in 3 weeks. It's under development. But if you're talking about using multiple actions before emails within a sequence, then you just use the automation flow and just add actions in between. Native server or sending email ID. I'm not quite sure about the question, but I think he's talking about the SMTP. So
Right.
what we do is, yeah, so we just use your default SMTP. So if you have set up any SMTP, let's say AWS, SES, or let's say you have Postmark, whichever you have set up, it's up to you. For your website, we will just use the default one and send out the emails there.
I think
10
before you answer this question, let me tell you from his questions, I can really feel that he is going to use these kind of things, or he is using these kind of things in a SaaS product.
Mhm.
So this is why his
Exactly.
questions are very specific and very
Mhm.
to the point that he want to solve his problem. If
Right.
I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
I actually know Larry from before. I spoke with him before. So this is, I think he's using a SaaS tool that was released maybe last year. So lead scoring was pretty popular back then, and we are thinking of it, but it's gonna be quite difficult at this point. Okay, so I think we're gonna work on that in quarter 3 because lead scoring is basically a function of a core CRM. And as you can see that MailMint, we don't claim it to be a complete CRM. You know, many tools say they're CRM, but they're not. Lead scoring is something that comes in a core CRM. So we will get there, but it's not yet planned for the first 2 quarters.
Okay, noted. Let me go to the next one.
Mhm. Can
I'm
we
not
create
exactly sure who
sequence
posted
emails?
this, but yeah.
Okay, makes sense. Can we create sequence emails based on conditions such as if the recipient reply in a certain time? Well, as I said, we are working on the condition. So this will be one of the conditions there. So based on that, you can assign sequence emails after that. So you just have to wait about 2 or 3 weeks before you get this feature.
Got it. So I think Yoon, he is actually from Korea. So he is asking the
Okay.
forms, is it based on Gutenberg blocks?
Yeah, basically the form is something that we want to make sure it can be used in any page in your whole WordPress site. And since the default builder is Gutenberg, so the form builder of that we provide is made using Gutenberg. So yeah, you
Right.
can use that, but we have added some blocks of our own so that it gets easy, such as you'll get the first name, last name, emails, and a custom block so that you can have custom fields to collect custom data from users. So yeah, those are the things you get there.
Quick question. This is from me. So let's say I'm collecting some custom fields such as what is your interest, product interest in digital scope? Is it business, productivity, automation, and such, right?
Right.
So if I collect that, can I segment them depending on that field?
Yeah, you can. Basically,
Okay, okay.
when you collect the data, that data is added to your context as an extra custom
Hmm.
field,
Hmm.
right? So you can segment using your custom field. So that's how it works. Did
Did
lead form have open condition like delay, page scroll, click event, or exit event? No, we didn't add any condition to our lead form because this is basically a generic lead form we are creating just to collect leads. But we do have plans for that. Basically, even if lead forms are not basically the core features of our tool, it is still something we want to optimize so that you have all sort of options. So conditions is going to be something that are going to come up pretty soon.
great, great. So I'll move to the next one.
Mhm.
I think Azim also asks uncanny automator integration,
I think
whether
that's
it
a
is in a.
feature request because
Hmm,
no, we didn't add any integration with any automators yet. So I think the first thing we will integrate with is going to be Zapier, and then we will look into the ones such as Uncanny Automator, then WP Fusion, WP Automator. So those are the ones coming up one by one. So the first one we'll do is Zapier because that's the one most people
very
use.
common.
So
But if you are going
yeah.
to the direction of Zapier, do remember in the LTD community, there is
Hmm.
Integrately and there is Pably is really, really
Hmm.
highly adapted product.
Yeah.
And so
Pebble is one
do
of
keep
them
that.
we are looking into as well.
Yep, yep.
And Flowmatic is really good.
Flowmatic, of course. So
Yeah.
I think Larry already said that uh, need to add these to Flowmatic. And he
Yes.
can actually do it very
Okay.
fast. So all the integrations that I noticed in
Hmm.
Flowmatic, it's like somebody was talking about day before yesterday, and today that integration is up. That's like amazing turnaround time.
It's amazing.
Well, that's good. I mean, I think they have a very good, documentation created. That's why it's pretty easy. So we will look into that definitely. Formatic is getting popular day by day, so why not? Okay, so on the automation section, you showed, do you have templates for your coupons, or do we have to upload our custom templates? Uh, I'm not sure about the question.
I think he meant that, okay, not the automation part, but whether you allow us to upload custom templates or
Okay.
such things.
As right now, we are not doing that because we found some complications in WordPress
Hmm.
regarding that. So we tried to build that import of HTML templates, but there was a barrier. So we had to stop. We need to rethink on how to do that. So yeah, we kept that in R&D stage, and very soon we are going to come to a decision on how to do that because the way our process works is that before we start working on something, we do research, we find out the possibilities, and the importing of custom HTML templates had some security issues interlinked with that, and we don't want that in any tool. So we had to halt in that part, and we are continuing our research to find how to avoid that. So yeah, so that's
Makes sense.
gonna
Yeah,
be
makes
something
sense.
in future, right? Oh, okay, so will RWP Funnels Ltd offer be returning in the future, maybe or not so? That's something we're not gonna do again. I'm sorry about that. Basically, uh, I'll just share an experience with everyone. I'm not saying AppSumo is bad. AppSumo is pretty good, to be honest. They are very professional. But what went wrong is that when you go to AppSumo, everyone starts expecting only LTDs from you. Now, that's not something a business wants. I mean, we have to sustain with good MRR. So just launching LTDs is not a good idea. Trust me. So we will probably not go back to AppSumo again.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand because the recurring revenue is much more important for companies to survive in general.
And I mean, recently I'm seeing in every groups that they're talking about this company going shutting down, this company
Yep,
no
yep.
longer there. And I mean, even if we have good MRR with our other tools, still we want each tool to have its own good MRR, right? So that's the idea. Okay, so for me, the most important emailing is DKIM, DMARC, pre-header, and custom subdomain for tracking click. Does Mailmin provide those points? Uh, this is very technical. I think I don't know the answer to this. I have to talk to my developer and answer that. I would suggest that please send this question in my support, or maybe just PM me. I'm going to talk with my developer and then answer you this. All right. So I really don't know where does Mailmint stand with those points.
So does Mailman tell you though that hey, you send out this email and it was opened and read? Do you get that much
Yeah,
information from it? Okay.
yeah,
So you can see
definitely you get
what's
that.
been open and what's not.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you can
need
get
the
that.
open rate, because without the open rate, then the tool will not have the competitive advantage over the common, like Mailchimp and
Yeah.
the other things, right?
I would rather say, right, let's not talk about competition. If you're a
Mm.
marketer, if you don't know if it was successful, or if you don't have a metric, how will you know this campaign worked? So
Yeah,
those are the
exactly.
basics. We have to give that.
Yeah.
So it's there. I think the previous question was more about API, because he was talking about points. So he was talking
Mm.
about, do we have those endpoints in our tool for API? So
Mm.
that's why I said it's technical for me. All right.
No, actually, what he is asking, this one, I know
Mm-hmm.
about this. So for email to deliver to the inbox of the target user, means
Mm-hmm.
not in the spam box, you need to have DKIM verified, DMARC, pre-header,
Mm-hmm.
and custom
Mm-hmm.
subdomain for tracking link. So that's another part of it. So what they
Mm-hmm.
do, a lot of people, they use this custom subdomain to track links.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say campaign1.ruhanirabin.com
Okay.
will track the link for that campaign. So if it's campaign one, for example. So
Okay.
those configuration, whether it is possible or not, I think that is
Okay.
what he is asking.
Well,
Yeah.
basically, again, if even if it's that one, that's something I still need to talk with my devs, because I know that we did create those custom tracking links to track the clicks, because when you input a link there, initially it's a different link, it's a hash link to get the data, and then it goes into the main link. So we do have the tracking system, but I need to know how that actually works, because it's very technical for me. As I said, I have to talk with the devs and then answer this. So again, I'm going to request whoever has this question, just PM me. I'm going to talk with my devs and get you an answer for sure.
So I do know it has pre-header, and I thought it was interesting because in my test, I didn't
Hmm.
set anything up with SMTP or anything
Hmm.
like that, and it was a brand new site, and it was
Hmm.
it went right away to my inbox. It didn't go to my spam. I was expecting it to go to spam since
Mm.
nothing else was configured. So
Okay.
I thought that was really good.
Well, okay, so I think they worked on it already. I mean, we had a discussion about this before. As a marketing manager, I'm also acting as a product manager for them. So this was a requirement from me that this has to go to inbox. I mean, if it goes to spam or even on promotion, those are bad. So
Mm.
Yeah.
the devs did work on this, but the reason I'm not answering now is because I don't want to say something wrong without knowing it. So I just need time on that. Okay.
Oh, that's a tough question.
Okay, what is the largest list of subscribers you have mailed out concurrently with MailMint before? I think we have tested it with about 10 to 20,000. We didn't test with more subscribers yet, but in WordPress, you have limitations of how many you can send, depends on your server. Okay, so let's say you have a very powerful SMTP and you want to send out 10,000 emails right away, but can your server handle that? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that the delivery rate is high. So rather than
Mm.
giving you a chance to send too many emails at a time that can, let's say, exhaust your server, we will rather have a cap on that. But what we're doing is we have a filter with which you can, customize this. So in case you have a custom server created where you have the ability to send more emails at a time, you can change that out using, maybe use a developer to change that filter, and it can work. Okay, so right now I think we can send about 60,000 emails per hour. That's the pace we go by, because we don't want to exhaust anyone's resources while the emails are being sent out to your SMTP. Okay, so would be great if WPFunnels has funnel analytics and MailMeet has mail analytics combines in provide an end-to-end view of a prospect. Yeah, this is actually a work in progress. Basically, a few days later, we're going to launch our biggest integration with WP Funnels. So the initial analytics is going to be very basic, but we are planning on combined analytics so that it makes more sense. So that's a work in progress.
Oh, tough
Okay,
question.
so everybody has this question, man. So, so who is your competition and what separates you from them? So, I always say it this way, that every tool that has been out there before us, I think they're better than us in terms of experience, okay? Because they've been out there for a while. Now, if you talk about a direct competitor, like similarities and features, then there is Fluent CRM, there's MailPoint, uh, and we also compete with a few tools like Groundhog or Chromatic, things like that. So that's how people will view it as competition if we talk about just Mailmint. And if I demonstrate on why they are different than us or why we are different than them, then it's the ease of use. Basically, I showed you how everything works in, let's say, about 20 minutes. You actually know the whole plugin in 20 minutes. That's how small time you need to learn MailMint. I mean, you don't even need that much time. I just spend more time explaining things. But we have a few users who just bought it and launched their first campaign in less than 10 minutes and let us know that, hey, we just launched a campaign with MailMint. And they didn't even go through our documentation. So that's the part we think is very different than our competition. And now, if you talk about features specifically, uh, our custom form builder and our advanced email builder is something that's different from most of the tools you get within WordPress. So I know that Fluencerum has recently given a good email builder out there, but we like to think our one is better somehow because it's the ease of use, simply the ease of use. So, but then again, I respect them because they have some features that we don't have yet because they've been around for a while. So I wouldn't say that we already excel past our competition, but those are probably the competitions you're looking at. Okay, so what is strategy behind the pricing? Look, how did they come up with those prices? Did anyone help them? I'm not sure about the question. I think they're talking about the
So
pricings
I
of
think
our
the
products,
context.
right?
Let me explain a little bit on this because this one, I think
Mm-hmm.
um, few of them actually asked the similar question. I think Jingu Eon also asked the same question that compared to others, it will be good. It is a good quality plugin. However, the price merit and cost performance is too much difference. So
Okay.
I think a lot of people are asking this in other groups. I mean, in a group chat,
Mm-hmm.
private group chat. Also, we had this discussion
Right.
that why the price tier is in this manner. Uh, so
Right.
I think I'm not sure how exactly you guys can actually reply to these because,
Mm-hmm.
of course, all products have their costing and
Mm-hmm.
running cost means infrastructure and paying
Mm-hmm.
salaries and everything else, right? So that one I can
Mm-hmm.
understand. But if you have any response to this, then
Definitely.
yeah.
Well, I think I'll give you a more simple answer to that. I know everybody knows that every software has production cost. All right. So every software has their own production cost. They have employees to pay. They spend a lot of money investment. But that was not the reason behind our pricing. All right. Uh, Obviously, there's one thing we do is we monitor the market, we monitor how the economy works, how everything is going on out there, right? So when we decided on MailMint pricing, our main agenda was to make sure that we can offer a premium service. So when we say premium, most people think that premium just means a pro plugin. But the difference you'll see with us, the WPFunnels team, is that we have invested in growing our team. Okay, so rather than having just one developer or two developers doing the whole thing, we have a whole team working on the tool. So you'll get at least three developers working in the back end, three developers working in the front end. Then we have designers, dedicated UX designers working on this. On top of that, we have hired people for support. So uh, we want to make sure that you get constant support, you get replies within 24 hours. If it's within our working hours, you get replied within 10 minutes. I mean, we're giving that cap because there could be many support tickets at the same time. So what we do is, like, if you are reaching us within our working hours, you get a reply within 10 minutes. if you are reaching us off our working hours, you got to reply within 24 hours, and we make sure to help you in a premium way. As in, like, let's say if someone is having issues in their website due to our plugin, or if someone has our plugin and for some reason is not being able to run the campaign due to some wrong instructions or maybe wrong settings, then we are open to giving you a direct service there. Basically, we have helped people by accessing their website and getting things set up for free. Now, obviously, if you look at that, like many people provide services of creating your funnels and they charge you a huge amount. We have done that for few of our users for free. So those are the type of servicing we're talking about. Plus, fast development is very important. Now, most tools out there today, they start very fast, like 2 months or 3 months, and then it's gone. You see that there's nothing being developed for 1 year or 2 years. Now, with WPFunnels, I think we have already proved our worth in that case, that we are still giving you new features day by day. We are not wasting time like that. Like, hey, I don't know when our next feature is going to be. I know what my next feature is going to be, and when it's going to be launched. And it's going to be launched on a frequent basis. Every month, you're going to get something new with WPFunnels. The same thing goes for Mail Mint. Now, with Mail Mint, the main catch here is that this is a marketing tool, right? And I know that nobody likes to switch their tool from time to time when it comes to email marketing, because this is a core product that you use for your business. Now, what we want to make sure is that MailMint in itself is a product that can last long, rather than relying on the MRR of WPFunnels or our other products. Obviously, they have their own MRR, they can support MailMint, but we want MailMint to support itself, right? So we want to make sure that unlike other tools that are coming up with grand LTDs and then in 6 months saying, hey, we cannot continue this. We want to make sure that even after 10 years, you still have MailMint, and we're still telling you, hey, you get premium service. You have an issue, come to us. I'm going to fix it for you. I'm going to help you right away. All right. So I'm just going to give you an example of our service. Yesterday night, there was this lady who was completely new in WordPress, all right, and had no idea of how everything works. I personally went on a call with her. We had about 2.5 hour session. I just taught her how to, do things in WordPress and helped her run her first campaign. And she was so excited, obviously. But what I want to point out here is that 2.5 hours, if you look at it, is pretty expensive if you choose someone who's a freelancer or maybe a developer. Okay. But we are willing to go that length, give it to you for free because you're one of our customers, and promise you that this tool is going to last that long, give you good quality, and invest everything we get. Basically, most of the things we get, we actually invest back into the product. We are not looking to earn that high level of profit. If you look at the prices, many might think they're trying to make a lot of money. But trust me, that's not what we're focusing on. The focus here is quality. You might want to go for a SaaS tool and pay them tens of thousands of dollars and say, hey, that's quality service. Why not pay just 10% of that in WordPress and still get quality service, rather than paying much lower than that and then expect the company to never really give you that quality service. So that's what we're focusing on. And obviously, we are confident that our developers are well experienced. I think many people don't know that WPFunnels is not our first product. We have been here since 2014, and each and every member of the team right now, they've been here for at least 6 years working on this dynamic of the project. So we are giving you the most experienced developers, the most experienced support agents, just for MailMint and WPFunnels. So our promise is that it's gonna be high quality. If you pay money here,
So let me simplify this.
yeah,
So it is about quality of service, right?
exactly.
What you said. It translates into one simple thing: quality of service and longevity, right? It will survive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So so when I look at the tool, right, I can ensure that if you go and sell this to your client, most probably you will be able to get back the money you paid for the LTD in the first campaign. That's just my thoughts. But as marketeer, you can tell me better, right? Because I'm not a
Yeah.
direct marketeer. I know a little bit of things here and there. So yes,
Exactly.
I know the pricing is higher, but also now I get to know the certain justifications behind it. Uh, and yeah, thank you for that. So this is the last question I'm going to take because we are already over the limit. And I also do not want to keep Sultan for so long, because he is giving his dedicated time behind this. So before we go, I have collected the names in the form. So what I'm going to do, you guys have a. I would let Sultan to give a little bit of conclusion in end of the stream while I prepare for the names for
Okay.
the wheel of names. So there are roughly around 16 entries. So there is a lot of possibility of winning in this stream. So thank you so much, Sultan, for giving us the chance to have the giveaway. Is very important, because then we get the chance to. Yeah, Sam. So I want to surface this to Sam. Sam, this company is more than 14 years old. So how many LTD actually you know that actually sustain two more years? Most of the LTD you buy doesn't even sustain. So I would trust a company who already made one or two proven product. So that is why I'm trusting at this point. If it is a completely new company, completely new promise, it is not easy to trust. We all know this. This is not a new company.
Really.
So this is from 2012. I know it's very easy to make these remarks, but did we go and did the study or not? So I'm not siding with him, but what I'm saying that I have seen a lot of new companies and other ways. So yeah, so they have the track record. I do know about them since 2016. So that's already 8 years that I know about them. So yeah, so Sultan, please go ahead. I will excuse myself from the camera while I prepare for the stream. For the giveaway. Thank you so much again. Thank you, Alberto.
Well,
And
I
Thank you,
just
yeah.
have
guys.
one request. While you're away, can you, can I share my screen for a moment? I just want them
Oh
to
yes,
give a,
yes. Go ahead. Please go
I
ahead.
want to give them a glimpse of what's coming, just in a
Oh,
few
cool.
days.
Even
Right.
even
So,
Nice.
even better. So Alberto,
yeah.
you and me will be out of the picture, so he can share
Sure.
the great news. Yeah. Go
Sounds
ahead.
good.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Just give me a few seconds. So I think most of you already know that what's coming up is basically an integration with WPFunnels Canvas, right? So I'm just going to give you a glimpse of that. It's still in beta phase. It's going to be completed in just about a couple of days. So let me just share my screen now. There you go. So you can see that I have opened up WPFunnels here, and I have one step. I can add more steps, but let me just show you how this works. So you can see that just below the step, there is a plus. And this is there is because I have MailMint and WPFunnels on the same site. So once you click on this, you have the option to choose actions. So let's say I'm going to choose send an email. So here, if I click on this, on the side of the, I can choose what's the condition. So in my landing page, I have an opt-in form. So I can choose if the opt-in form is accepted or submitted, then you will trigger this email. And here you can, choose the subject line, design your email the same way you did on MailMint. Okay. Now, if I go back after that, I can add more actions such as, assign the person to with a specific tag. So right here, I can select the tag that we have in MailMint already. And I can create tags here as well, the same way I did in MailMint. So you can see that for each step, you have the option to create an automation flow based on actions in this particular page. So if it was a checkout step and you want to run an automation flow, then the trigger could be someone has accepted the order bump, or maybe someone has completed the purchase, and then create a complete flow for that step just below it. So you're having an automation flow and a funnel flow right on the same canvas. So that's just about the preview I'm giving right now, but obviously in a couple of days, you're going to get the full thing. There's more things there than what I just showed you. This is just a glimpse. All right. So I'm just going to stop the screen share. So yeah. So that's
Okay. We
just
are back.
about what's coming up.
So, I just prepared the wheel of names, so we
Okay.
can go about it.
Mhm.
Give me 1 second to share my tab.
Sure.
So I have already pasted the names. So even the founder of Flowmatic is inside there. So that this will be very interesting. So let me shuffle this. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, you can remove my name from the list.
No,
I was
you
just
filled up the form. You want me to remove? I can remove. No worries. Where
I
is
think
this?
I think Albert already has the tool, so
yes.
Okay, okay.
I jumped
Where
on
is
it
it?
at 5 a.m. to get that 80% off.
Okay, I have shuffled. So let's go about this. Let me see how it goes. Where is Nilesh filled up the form? Anyway, I'm going to put Nilesh name over here. Okay. So you guys ready? So we are going to do this. Let me put some funk into this. I'm trying to find what other audio files I have. Okay. Let me see if it actually works.
nice.
Click to spin. We started the number one.
Okay, let's get it.
Oh. Okay, we have BL Samota.
Nice.
Who will be the next one? Okay. Theodore. Wow. Good, really good, really good.
Congrats.
Actually, I really want Nitin to have one. And maybe he didn't get it. Let me see if he's here or not. If he's not here, I'm not going to give him.
Okay.
Where is it? Where is he? Sam, say something.
I think he's not there.
Ooh, so near, so near.
Ah.
You still have it. You still have it. Yeah, this is amazing.
Okay, Sam is here.
Okay, so the last one, let's see. I'm really hoping Nitin can get it so he can do the integration. So that is my reason behind it. Wow. So we are out. 5 of. You guys had a
Nice.
lot of good chances actually. So we have this 5. So before we finish everything, I just want to do a shameless plug on my side. Basically, what I wanted to say, let me think about it. So because I am trying to build my YouTube site,
Mhm.
so those who attended the stream or those who attend usually goes to YouTube. So this is my YouTube link. I welcome you to come and join me over there because I am doing regular shows on YouTube. This is not, you don't have to, this is, I'm not forcing to you, but if you do this, I can make more content for you to help you guys. So thank you everyone for joining and congratulations winners. Thank you, Sultan, for give us this opportunity to get the in-depth details of the tools, and it looks very promising. So what I will do for myself, I will buy at least one site. I want to try it on my personal website and go from there because I do not have any marketing tool ever installed on
I
my
get it.
own site. So this is one of my blind spot that I need to fill up. Thank you for that. That now I get to know that it can do certain things that I can make use of. Thank you, Alberto. You wake up so early and being around at 8 a.m., man, kudos to you. And because for him, it's 8 a.m., for me, 10 p.m., for you, 8 p.m. So I know of all this. And thanks everyone again. And we will continue to do more shows like this. As you can see that Sultan explained that this tool is going to be a game changer. When you come to combine it with WP Funnels, you will see a radical level of changes, or the power of WordPress. You put it all together in your own infrastructure, all the data you own by yourself. So this is what it is. At the end of the day, it is all about. Rather than you are depending on a SaaS, which closed down, and you are
In
right
trouble.
in the water. Yeah. So thank you so much. And congratulations, winners. We will send the email list to to Sultan, so he can process it however he feels like. The 5%, I mean. So
Right. So
thanks
Thank you,
everyone
guys.
again, and thank
Thanks,
you, Sultan,
everyone.
for your
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Rabin.
Thank
It
you.
was a great session, and everyone who attended, you are awesome. Thank you for joining, and I hope we will meet again when you come to Mail Mint.
Oh yes, yes, yes. And if I'm traveling, I'm going to ping you. Okay, so we can
Definitely.
catch up for a tea.
Sure. Why not?
All
Of
right.
course.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye
Have a
bye.
nice day.
Take care.